Hello everyone, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are watching from. It's Stuart here from the Woolpatch. As you know, a little yarn shop nestled in the middle of Long Melford, Suffolk, UK. And over there in the YouTube chat is Producer Fizz, who keeps the chat going as I talk. She's also talking to my ear. We go through the schedule and plan the show together. And whenever we talk about anything, she always drops the links in the chat to help you find what you need. And at the end of the session, if you're watching on catch up, you can find all those links either in the description or in the comments, because Fizz also posts them in the comments. She posts them in the comments before I've gone into the description to add everything to. So it's great. So here we go for an hour and 15. We'll see. And it's all about Lavenham Blue. We can't wait to give the announcement. Fizz has started the clock, and in half an hour, well, we'll see how it goes. We've had a few tech issues. I think the sun's got to us all. We teched Friday and it was perfectly fine, wasn't it, Fizz? Absolutely great. And I came to the computer after having some food, dialed in. Could Fizz hear me? No, it was microphone issues. Randomly, they just turned off permissions. And finding those permissions are not easy, but we got there in the end. But there we are. Loads of you are joining us. We've gone through and said hello at the beginning, and more people are coming in too as we speak. Emma, Elkie Wild Art Colour Pencil Shop, or Tortie Treble, Maker Designs as we know her as well. I'll be showing you some patterns and some of Emma's work in the Lavenham Blue section in half an hour. So Emma, I hope you like that, because her pattern is out now and it all fits nicely with the Lavenham Blue. Teresa's in. Hey Teresa. And Jimbo, Curly Sue, Mary from Norfolk. Had a great visit from Mary earlier this week at the shop. That was a great surprise. Michelle, hey Michelle, it's lovely. If you're watching on catch up, hello to you. I know many of you do. Jane, just brilliant that Jane tunes in from New York. She's one of our regulars watching on catch up. Hope you're doing all right, Jane. She's just finished her World Cup jersey football top. She's popped it in the post. Fingers crossed it gets here for next Saturday. We're going to be telling you about the World Cup window, which we're putting together next Saturday after the Lavenham Blue section. So we're looking at about just before 9 o'clock, somewhere around there. So that will be great. So we've got the World Cup, we've got Lavenham Blue. We're going to tell you where the yarn is from. We're going to introduce you to the farm. I had a little pre-record with the farmer's wife, Alice, who I'm working with. So I've got that. That's about a 15-minute interview to show you too, where you get to see the sheep, you get to see the farm. And I have a lovely question and answer session with Alice about the farm itself, what they do. It's just wonderful. So that's all exciting to tell you later on. But first, was it? Oh yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. That's right, 2 weeks ago. We should have done it live from the shop. I can't remember. Oh yes, I had to come home and feed the cat, so I couldn't stay at work. So we did the shop live from here, and I was wearing the finished Wave Strider crochet pattern from Kelly Cocky Crocheter. And I was talking about how lovely it was because it was blocked. Oh, no, that's right. We had it on the model, didn't we? Because when I was wearing it the month before, it wasn't blocked. I could not get over how good that blocking spray and blocking wash from Yarn Food is. I used this to block it. And It did wonders. And I know, I think Fizz and many of you said, oh, you've got to go to the beach and record that. And I thought, yes, you know what? Cool, the Wave Strider mesh tank top. I've got to. And Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, was so hot here in the UK. I thought everyone's going to be at the beach. So I'm not going to go to the beach. I'm just going to stay at home in the garden. So there's no beach, but I was in the garden filming it. And I think when you see it, you're going to just go, doesn't that look great? So let's just go into a fun little show starter of me prancing around my garden. There is a little someone extra if you keep your eyes open. Me wearing the finished Wave Strider. Look for the detail of the crochet and look for how wonderful it looks after that blocking. It's like a different garment. How cool. There we go. So that's the finished Wave Strider. Tick that off. It should have been done a year ago as a test crochet. But, you know, sometimes life gets in the way and you just can't do it with all best intentions. I am glad I persevered. I'm glad you all helped me during Finish It February as we decided what to keep and what to stop or what to perhaps put away for another year. That we decided, nope, we've got to finish that because it does look really nice. How even it came out, how because of all those different size trebles, it just looks so streamlined. I'm really, really chuffed with it. So if you're a crocheter and you like a vest top, highly recommend it. And I've really enjoyed doing the crochet because of Kelly's patterns. I've really enjoyed doing them. So we had that one and then we had the Dreamweaver before. So I've always had for the last year a crochet garment on the go. And now I've finished one and I've not got anything on the moment, so I've got to get cracking with another crochet because I actually really enjoyed it and I really enjoyed using the cotton. If you want more information on that yarn, it's in my shop. It's called Illusion by Lang Yarns. And I know Emma here, Elkie Wild Art, she's used it many a times and you can see some of her wonderful work done in it. It's a beautiful bamboo cotton mix. It's a 4-ply weight, but it does double up as a double knit if you do it on a 4mm needle or a 4mm hook. You just get a more floatier, floppier fabric. Curly Sue in the chat has finished the Tolster tee in it. And Sue, I think you did it on a 4mm. Correct me if I was wrong. And it looks beautiful. It is a lovely, lovely cotton bamboo yarn. So much so they have just now released a solid version. And I will look to get that. But it's a beautiful yarn. Still have plenty in stock if you want to do a summer garment. Thoroughly recommend it. I'm looking forward to my next crochet project. And I've got some yarn down there. Let us know if you've got a crochet project on the go at the moment. Let me know. Oh, there you go. See, Emma says it's absolutely glorious yarn. It really is. guess who's got a new puppy? Karen from Wigan. Evening, Stuart. So I'm late. I've been dealing... Oh, he is adorable. If you are on Instagram, you can find Karen from Wigan. It popped up on my feed yesterday, this dear little golden retriever. Looks wonderful. You're going to be a very busy bee. You're going to be exhausted, Karen. It's lovely to see. Lovely to have your company. Oh, Curly Sue. Yes, 4 mil and the yarn is wonderful to use. So, yeah, there we go. Now, did you see a certain cat there? I was prancing around, filming away, and didn't see him till halfway through, just laying there. And then he was sort of going upside down. That was Reggie. We've got 2 new cats. I can't remember if I told you about them. Brother and sister, Reggie and Maggie. Reggie is an all-black British short hair, and Maggie is just, you know, your classic Tortie. Those beautiful browns, those golden ginger almost colour, and then blonde bits dotted throughout. Because we couldn't get the other 2 that we were looking at because of a kind of a fast country lane outside our house. So the wonders of Berry Stray Cats, we do a lot of work for them. We saw these 2 and went, oh, go on then. So they've joined Bobby and they are slowly getting on. I think Maggie's got a thing for him, but that's as in, you know, stalking him. But that's now they're sort of in the room together more. I think that's wearing off. But yeah, so we've got 3. And it's got me thinking about what to do with them in the future. And this whole cat thing, and I was just looking through an Instagram, as you do, scroll through, don't you? And Knit Coffee Crochet popped up, and I was like, oh, I remember Becky. Back when we were doing Game of Wool, we did an interview with Laura of Wool Bath. Laura has her own yarn shop in Bath, and Becky works there, and Becky does these beautiful crochet, and I was like, oh, I remember. And I was flicking through, and she was advertising her new post of stuff that she makes, which are these key change kitty cats. I'm going to say no more because we're going to go into Guess the Year for a bit of fun, and then I'm going to show you her kitty cats. Did I? This is just like Guess. Just as the ticker. Did it come up? Did it? Oh, see, this is the tech issues, doesn't it? Try again, Fizz. Ah, there we go. The gremlins. As we go into Guess the Year, a bit of fun. And I'm going to show you a very famous cat. A certain age category might go, oh, I know this cat. If you're under 30, yeah, good luck to you. You've got to guess the year that this cat was first aired on British television. As you see it, type the year in the chat. If you're sat at home, Jane, shout it out. I'll hear you. If you're watching on catch up, you could pop it in the comments. It would be nice to see if you got it right or not. So what is the year this famous cat first aired on British TV? So, what is it? Fizz just said, no, it's not the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. It's good old Bagpuss. What year? Type it in. Let's have a look. Jimbo says 1974. Jan says 1974. 1972 from Dicky Crafts. Jen, how are you? 1977, Karen. 1974. Hello, Michael. Hot and London. Bev, 1980. Curly Sue's going to go for 78. Margaret, you've got... you want a double guess? I think you've gone for the same one anyway, so that's okay. Katrina, I think we've got a 1974 thing going on. Michelle says 1974. Jenny says 1974. Oh no. Brings back memories, doesn't it? Hey. And Whitney says 1974. You copied everyone else, Whitney. And saying 1972. And it's in the post at long last. It's finally in the post. You'll get it this week. Wonderful. Okay, so Bagpuss. The year Bagpuss first aired on telly is, yes, 1974. We've got some, I think that might be the first time we've had lots of winners, Fizz, don't you? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Fizz says they're all getting too smart for us. Or did you just wait for the first answer? Jimbo, and then you copied. Love it. Brilliant. Yes, so the beloved British children's television series Bagpuss first aired February the 12th, 1974. Created by Peter Firmin and Oliver Postgate, the classic show only ever produced 13 episodes. Oh, that's a bit like Fawlty Towers. We think there's more than there actually is. Wow, didn't know that. No, oh my God, Fizz just said she thought it went on for 12 seasons. No, there are literally, it was 2 series and it was 6 in each series, so 12 episodes. Yeah, I know. Clearly Margaret loves it. Yeah. Well done, winners. Absolutely brilliant. Nice to have a bit of fun there. Oh, sorry. I have the marvellous mechanical mouse. Yeah, that will serve you right for being good, won't it? Now, what? Margaret. Tom Daly has just dropped his first video about Game of Wool. Has he? Was that on Instagram? Oh, no, they're probably filming this week, aren't they? Yeah, end of May, June. I bet he is... I'm trying to guess, Margaret. Is he? I bet he's posted from a hotel in Scotland, in Glasgow. Yeah, that would be right, because when I looked at the paperwork for season 2 with Lizzie, I think they said they were wanting to audition. It's a quick turnaround because the applications was March. Auditions were for April, end of May, to film end of May, June. Oh, hey, Diane, no worries. Better late than never. Oh, that's what. Lois, oh, no worries at all. Tom, oh, right, he was on YouTube. He's in Scotland filming the first round. And they're keeping to this, so they had to squeeze it in because they're keeping the same slot on Channel 4 in November, December. And of course, we've still got the Sewing Bee, and Sewing Bee is following the same format as they did last year, which was mid-June towards the end of June. So you've got all of July and all of August, which is great because hopefully that means Ting can do it again with me, because it's after all the exams have finished and all his marking is finished. Right, let's talk about kitty cats, because you're going to love this. So, what's that there? Oh, that's my cat. They're my pictures of my cats. I think my, let's get my camera. And where's that gone? Why is that? Yeah, this is all gone. I know. And we did this, didn't we? This is where it can get really frustrating. So let's push this button and then let's camera switcher. And let's do that. And let's press preset. No, it's totally forgotten its preset. Okay, so let's go into the position that it should have been in, which is somewhere there. There you go. Press save. I don't know why that didn't remember that. Let's get rid of my cable. That's what I talked to Fizz with. So there are my 3 cats. And Becky of Knit Coffee Crochet has just launched that she makes these kitty cat crochet keychains. Well, I immediately messaged her on Instagram and went, oh my God, I love them. And if you go to her Instagram, you will see them. And apologies if you don't do Instagram, it's very difficult. I was going to try and show you on here, but Instagram, showing it through the computer, just doesn't seem to work very well. But I kid you not, though, I will paint the picture. They looked adorable. So I messaged her and said, I love the cats. Can you personalise the cats? And she went, of course, send me the photos and I will do your cats. Well, so there I am. I'm messaging away and I sent her the 3 pictures there. So there you go. You can see Maggie, the Tortie, Reggie, the black British short-haired, and Bobby, who is a mix of everything. He's like a tabby, but with lots of white bits. And the white bits are kind of fluffy. Now, you ready to see what Becky has made? I think she did them within a week. It was phenomenal. So I thoroughly recommend it. Here we go, first one. Which way have I got to go? Like that. Look at that. And I'm going to hold it up to the camera so you can see it closer. Look. And look at these little paws. How adorable are they? And because I showed her, oh, going the wrong way. Because I showed her the picture, I said she's got some blonde bits. Well, she's got a whole blonde foot. And look, we've got that, where did we go up there? Oh, we've got a whole blonde foot. So the attention to detail is amazing. So that's Maggie. Oh, my camera. Oh, there we go. I wish it's kind of diagonal on, so I've got to get them. And then Reggie. Yeah. Look at Reggie. Isn't he cute? And his eyes. I know he's got a little white bit there, but he's just too cute anyway. But what I'm loving about this is, look, you can see his pads. The pads are of different colour. They actually look like pads, don't they? So there's Reggie. Reggie goes there. And this is my favourite because Bobby really is my cat. He's probably outside the door now wanting to come in. Always sits on my lap at night. And I think my heart burst when I saw Bobby. Where can I get? Where? It's got that proper mousy sort of stick of the dump look, which he does. Oh God, that's a blast from the past, isn't it? Can anyone else remember stick of the dump? Fizz is going, no. And look, your little paws. But it's got that proper mousy grey, sort of tabby look. He's just wonderful. How do I do that? Bobby is there. Look at them. And because they're keychain, so you've got that all there if you want. You can have them as knit markers, stitch markers, your beginning of round markers, or you could just have them as your keychain for your keys, for your house keys. But aren't they fabulous? They are, aren't they? Absolutely, Mary. Love them. Yeah, they're ours. Got them. Yeah. New members of the family. Absolutely wonderful. And this is where it's just where I really love our community. So I showed them to the Friday, well, I showed them to everyone, I think, but the Friday ladies, because I think they arrived Friday morning last week, not the Friday just gone. And I showed them, and Linda and Jenny and Ali were like, "Oh my God, they're so nice! So I need to get them done. I wonder if she can do my dogs." I was like, "Oh, I don't know. Ask her." Linda and Jenny have two dash hunts. They've got two little dash hunts each. Linda's is called, I want to say Coco. Yeah, and Jenny's is Megan, and they are beautiful, so tiny. So within a day, Linda messaged Becky, "Oh, I've just seen Stuart's cats. If I send you a dog, a picture of my dachshund, can you do them?" And Becky, being brilliant, went, "Well, I have never done a dog before. Give me a few days to try it and see." Well, a few days later, she'd knocked up the prototype, and I kid you not, it looked like she'd been making dachshunds for years. And it's kind of perfect for crochet because they are small, aren't they? And then within a week, Linda had got her dachshund, and so had Jenny in the post, got Megan in. So it's phenomenal. So there's actually probably no telling what Becky can't make. So if you are a crochet fan, I would get on there and have a look at work. You can buy her work through her personally, through a DM, and arrange it that way. I said to her, "Can I buy through where you work at Woolbath?" So I pay you, but I pay a little bit more. So Laura gets her money as a yarn shop too. And if you're local to Woolbath, go in because there's loads of Becky's work there. They've got the peas in the pod that we talked about on the Game of Wool show that she's done. You get a pod with the two peas in, and you can give one pea to someone special if you want. And there's kingfishers in adorable colours. There's all sorts of creaturey, furry animal things. It is just fabulous. So there you go. If you like that sort of thing, have a look. You can either look through Woolbath. Fizz pops the links in the chat, or they'll be in the description below, and you can look through Woolbath's website, and you'll see pictures, and you can click the drop down and have a look there, or you can go through Becky herself, which will be fabulous. It's all about supporting local business and obviously independent makers who are working to do livings like many of us are. Well, look at that! Look, we've got just shy of 2 minutes left to tell you all about the Lavenham Blue 2026 collection. I know many of you have been waiting with bated breath and saying, "Stuart, when are you going to announce it? When are you going to announce it?" So we're not having a gallery today. We will move that to June when we have our World Cup gallery too. Can't wait to tell you about the World Cup window, which will start on Saturday to put together so many teddies. And we were on the news. I'll show you the link for that coming up. But yes, it's all been done. It's been to the mill. It's come back, and I've started to dye it. Look at those colours. You just, from the light sky blue to the general classic woad blue, and then to the dark denim. They are all the colours, and let's pop them back on there. It took the woad beautifully, as real 100% wool does. And I cannot wait to do some more. And the weather has been glorious. So all day tomorrow and Tuesday, the vats will be fired up and ready to do more. So here we go, 10 seconds left. Let's get ready. We're going to do a short little scene now of the yarn itself, where it's from, and then we'll all go blue and and we'll talk about it in more detail. Here we go.
So they've moved over to this field yesterday.
Yeah.
Our lovely shepherd Emily brought them over. And this is a field which is growing grass and clover. So it's what they call, it's a fertility building lay. It's a 1 year when this doesn't grow a crop apart from this grass and clover, because the job of the grass and clover is to feed the soil.
Yeah.
And then opportunistically, the sheep feed it too. In fact, there's one lambing, I think, right over there. Can you see how they're beginning to lie over there? Can you see? I'm not going to go over there. At this time of night they'll begin to go off into a corner. The reason why we have New Zealand Romneys is they're really good, robust outside sheep.
How good does that look? And there we are. So our yarn farm this year for our Lavenham Blue 2026 collection is Shimpling Park Farm. If you're in the chat and you've been, let us know. If you know of them, let us know. It's just incredibly lucky. It's just the way things work at my shop. Customers come in, names have passed, and then someone goes, oh, someone might like that. Oh, what about, oh, you should contact them. And I think I messaged someone, then before you know it, there I was chatting with Alice, and enthusiasm bubbled over. When you get to meet Alice in a couple of minutes, when I show you our 15-minute pre-record interview, I don't think you will be able to contain yourselves with excitement, because she has got so much energy and excitement and passion over everything, and so it's been wonderful. Well, when I look back at all the farmers, they've all been great, and they love seeing how their yarn is being used. But there is something about Alice with Shimpling Park Farm. You heard a voice there in the background. The farm is set up a little bit more for functions, because they have, as farmers do, they look at what else they can do, diversify to develop and grow. And she is very much on the educational side and sort of Instagram people side. So she's the one saying what's going on and doing this and organising and everything. So in that respect, it's then been great to do more camera work with her, because she's already said, oh, you've got to come back next week and we've got to do this. And when we shear in June, you've got to come and film and then choose the shearlings for next year, because we'd like to have shearlings again. How nice would that be? Oh, but anyway, we're talking about next year and we haven't even talked about this year yet. So yes, The breed is New Zealand Romney. I know we have many knitters here watching live in the live chat. If you are familiar with the breed New Zealand Romney, let us know. If you've used it, let us know. Have you used it? Have you heard of it before? And let us know too. I have never used it, and it's going to be fascinating to knit with it. Very excited to knit with it. We've got 4-ply spun, and we also use for the first time the Natural Fibre Company, a huge spinning mill down in Devon, and that was kind of because our usual mill that we normally use up in Bridlington was fully booked. But because the Natural Fibre Company is so big, they had a little more capacity for when we said, oh, can we have something here and here? We've got a small flock of fleeces to send off. And they were able to fit us in. And at first I was a bit reticent because, oh, they're so big. They'll be really sort of, I think you kind of think sometimes, like me at the gym, you get intimidated by the big players. It's like, oh, they're going to look at our fleece and just think, oh, we can't be bothered to do that. And I know it's not true at all because they were fabulous, but it doesn't stop you from feeling that way at first. So I was really nervous that they're just going to go, oh, what are we doing here? Do we have to do this little thing? But never happened at all. In fact, they were phenomenal. They were so open with their processes and also with the end result. Do you want this? Do you want that? And if I'm like, oh, I'm not sure what that means. What about this? What about this? Can you explain it? Yes, this is this and this is. They were phenomenal. So it's a 4-ply weight. I have got more information about the spin and the length and whatnot. So I know many of you love that sort of thing. So Jimbo there as well, because he's a spinner getting into his spinning. Jimbo, I think, might have purchased a spinning wheel yesterday at Knitter Natter. James, let me know if you did, or tell the whole world. Again, as I was saying, things just suddenly happen, don't they? A lovely customer who lives in the village walked into the shop, Barbara, and said, oh, selling my spinning wheel. It's I've forgotten already because I don't know much about spinning. A scat? I know you lot. Hey? No, it's not. No, Fizz is saying, I think that's poo. And I know they're probably got their head in the hands now, Jimbo, at the brand. But I said to Barbara, I said, oh no, but funnily enough, I've got Knitter Natter on Saturday, tomorrow. I know 2 people there who are really into their spinning and want to do more. Oh, thanks, James. Where's my cursor gone? Scat. So it's close. And he did. How great. A shaffer that, oh, see, when they found that out, their eyes, I think Jimbo and Sue looked at each other and just went, oh my God, we've got to go and have a look. And obviously they had a look and I think they probably just fell in love. But yeah, Barbara said, I'm selling it. Do you know anyone? I went, I do. Funny enough, they're in today or tomorrow. So isn't it? Small world. But yes, so going back to the Lavenham blue, I have got information on how it's spun with those numbers. I think it might have an N in it, James. Is that right? So we had so much information. They guided us through every step of the way, so efficient, and we've got it back. So absolutely thrilled. And, you know, I've dyed it all. I can't even show you what it looks like naturally. never thought about that, to save one. But you can see it in the next little interview that we do. But yes, absolutely thrilled with it. These are the classic colours of Lavenham blue. Certainly this one here. That is your... Let's go to... Can we go to the desk cam? Will it remember? Don't know whether it will. That's desk. Where is it? Boop. No, that's me. Is that no? Can't get it. Can't do it that time. But that's your classic woad blue. Like, it's just like I would call that like the Simpsons sky colour. And then you can get, as the vat gets more exhausted, you then start getting into sky blue, light blue. Isn't that amazing? And then the harder one is the denim, kind of dark denim, because it just takes so much woad. I could keep dipping it 2 or 3 times, but it would just add on so much time. But this is the dark denim. Isn't that amazing? And then when you put all 3 together, so you've got your denim, woad blue, and sky blue. Those 3 colours. Let's hold them back a bit. Ooh. Oh, I'll pull my microphone out. There you go. Oh, drop that. Oh, stand up straight, Stuart. There you go. Look, isn't that a beautiful fade? These are all woolen spun too, if that's of interest. This morning, I was really lucky to get Alice for 15 minutes. I said, do you want to come on my live tonight? She said, oh no, I've got such and such and such to do. But I am about this morning. Shall I ring you from the field? And I was like, oh, yes. So we're going to go to a 15-minute interview. Cut it down a bit, and I'll probably end up releasing this interview as a standalone video on YouTube for those that are interested in the Lavenham Blue 2026 collection for when we start doing the whole pre-order, because people can then watch that for more information. So for 15 minutes, sit back and enjoy watching Alice of Shimpling Park Farm, the farmer's wife, who is all in charge of this, who I've been working with for the last... when did we send it off? Before Christmas? October, November time? Yes. So that's 6 months in the making. And you will definitely be really excited by the end, because it's just lovely to hear what farming can do and what we can do with this wonderful thing that we just love called wool. So we're down on the farm with Alice of Shimpling Park Farm. Can't wait to introduce you all to everyone. Alice, good to see you. Now, we can't get any more revealing than this with you on the farm.
No, I'm right here. And in fact, what I was going to do, if you don't mind, I'm hiding behind the hedge because I know they'll run away when I see them. But I wondered if you want to just start this by coming to see my sheep.
Love
some of them.
Yeah,
okay, right,
come on.
Here they are. These are some of my lovely... It's very, very hot here. So they're gathering round in the shade and by the water butt and having a really good long drink. So these are our lambs. And you can see that I'm afraid they are panting a bit. It really is very hot here today.
It is.
And they were born... Hello, everybody. These are New Zealand Romney ewes. So they are the Romney Marsh breed, but with a bit of a New Zealand genetics in. We chose to have these. So we are a completely organic flock over here in Shimpling. And we went into livestock in about 2014. Before then, we didn't have any livestock. but we wanted them to add to the nutrition of our soils. So we were in a lovely position of being able to choose what sheep we wanted. So we chose a breed which was resilient in an outdoor system, which is a system, I'll tell you more about our system in a minute, and was an easy to lamb, so they can do it by themselves, who live outdoors all year. And then actually we whittled it down to 3 breeds, and then a bit like Tinder, actually, we decided which one was the prettiest, and we chose that. Which is all the wrong reasons, isn't it? But
No.
they are so resilient and they're so lovely. So they're going to wander around because they're not really tame. They live outside unassisted as much of the time as they can. Obviously, if there's a problem, we bring them in. Can you see them there?
Oh, it looks brilliant, Alice. Yeah, it's lovely.
So our system is, so this lot were born from the beginning of April. So we put the ram in with them, and it's a New Zealand Romney ram. He goes in on just after bonfire night, and then he comes out, and these are born in April. So they're pretty firm, bouncing looking babies at the moment. And mums have got this very long stapled wool. We will be shearing this. I forgot what date we booked in, middle of June. I'm sort of tempted to go earlier, but it won't have risen, the wool, so it won't have the lanolin won't be in the right place, so it won't shear well. So we have to wait, and they're going to have to put up with this heat, poor things. But they do have flowing, running, delicious water, and they drink an enormous amount because obviously they're lactating. And then and this year we might also shear our lambs, but that's a bit of a treat for 2027. I've got an idea for you, Stuart. I've had a thinking about it. They are bonny, so our system is completely outside. So this field is a grass and clover lay. So it is 1 in 5 years in our field. Can you just see that little bit of clover down there?
It looks lovely, so
This is a Persian clover there. Can you see?
Yeah, wow.
And once in 5 years, these sheep, these fields rest. They have a year in a grass and clover lay just to fix the fertility, because obviously we don't, being organic, put on any synthetic or artificial fertilizer. So we graze the sheep on those bits, and we use these leguminous plants, these lovely clovers, traditional red clover there.
Oh, look at that,
to feed the soil with their nitrogen-fixing nodules. So this is the backbone of the fertility to grow our organic crops in. Absolutely wonderful.
Oh. It's wonderful to see them. I know I came to you when we picked up the yarn in the first place. Tell us what you said you've had the sheep since 2014 on the land. What have you normally done in the past with the fleeces once you've sheared them?
Well, it sounds awful, Stuart. There was no money in wool for a long time. So obviously I'm very, very new, and I am not the shepherd, I hasten to add. I'm just married to the farmer who realised that we had a fertility gap and felt that organically we should try livestock. So I'm coming at it really, really new. So the thing I inherited is that we bagged it all up and off it went to the British Wool Board.
Yes, that's what most farmers are doing, aren't they?
The market price, yeah. And obviously there was a real difficulty. Hello, you little one. Look at you.
That's an amazing close-up.
They're off. I'll turn it round now so they can carry on drinking without me disturbing them. Okay. I'm going to come in the shade of it. It really is boilingly hot. Anyway, so, and actually during COVID it got even worse. So it gets picked up on a lorry and goes off to the British Wool Board. You get paid a year in arrears. And then there was no wool being sold because I asked the guy why not. And he said, well, no cruise ships, no carpets. And I'd never thought about the bizarre thing about COVID, which is that, of course, cruise ships have new wool carpets every year. And if there are no cruise ships, there are no carpets. So we have this enormous down, but it's wonderfully, it's picked up. And then I met you, Stuart. So this is my first foray. I do know how to wash my own fleeces, and I do use a spinning wheel, but very, very badly. But this is the first time I've commercially sent some off to be spun by the Natural Fibre Company, who have been absolutely wonderful. So and also my husband wants a jumper. It's his life dream to have a jumper.
And we're gonna get him that too.
Come in. You and I went through our bags of fleeces, and I picked out the best 45. I sort of worked out about 15 fleeces. It's about roughly 3 kilos of fleece, 3 or 4 kilos. So we picked out 15 fleeces weighing about 45 kilos. Then I had to post them to the south coast where they were going to be spun and cleaned, which was quite comical. So I got a bin bag and a hoover and sucked it out and then put it in a box and sat on the box. And then, of course, it started inflating, and then it blew me off the box. This went on for about half an hour. It was a very, very funny. I've got to think of a better way. But it went off to the natural fibre company. That then they clean it, they card it. And obviously, because I'd not done it before, doing it again, I'd know I would pick out the fleeces on the day of shearing. Going forward, Stuart, I've got some ideas, but some really exciting ones. So I see this as dipping our toe in here. So that came out at about 25 kilos of finished wool from 45 kilos of original wool, original fleece.
And in those bags that we've got of all the hanks, it's just shy of 200, I want to say. Is that right? About 180 odd hanks we've got?
More, 25 kilos, 100 gram hanks, 250 hanks. Yeah.
We've never had that many. That is going to be amazing. And each year our collection has sold out. So now we've almost got double. Alice, that's going to be phenomenal.
Well, can you make sure you hang on to some for John? So my husband, John, at Shimpling Park Farm, he is so excited about this blue jumper you're going to make for him, Stuart.
Irene,
I promise you.
Our master knitter, she's on the tank top. I've dyed it already. I'm going to be showing the viewers after we finish our chat what the finished yarn looks like dyed up.
Oh, great.
And it's wonderful. And as you say, it's the first time we've gone with the Natural Fibre Company. And that was a bit intimidating for me because they are a huge spinning company, one of the most renowned in the UK for spinning yarn. But as you said, they were brilliant. They guide us through step by step, and they were great with all our questions, weren't they?
Well, they were absolute joy to deal with. I mean, literally down to how do I get this enormous thing into a box and the Hoover job. But no, they were really great because it was questions. There are all sorts of processes, and it's a complex process. I mean, like I say, I have done my own, but you'd never want to knit with anything I spun, and it took me about 45 years. But they're very, very patient because there are various processes in cleaning. They were also very swift, and they kept you in the picture. I really, really liked working with them. So for me, as a farmer, or as a farmer's wife, so often on what we are mainly an arable farm, the sheep came in to complement our organic rotation. And so on an arable farm, very often we don't have any contact with our finished user.
Oh.
Does that make sense? And one of the great things about having sheep at all for me was I do sell lamb direct, and I can send it all around the country. When it's in season, it's only when we have it. And I send it to my local butchers and to my local restaurants. That is the most viscerally exciting thing. So now to have the wool element, it feels that connection between what we're doing on the farm and why we're doing it. I really adore having the contact with people using it, not a kind of middleman or a factory or a supermarket.
And more importantly, you're, as the farmer, are getting the proper price for the wool rather than being, how the Wool Marketing Board or the British Wool do it. And I understand why they do it. It just doesn't ever feel fair. Whereas this way, you get a proper mark for your price.
Yeah, can I just say something, Stuart? You have been a joy to deal with because, I didn't know, so I had to go through the process. But also, like you say, you're paying a proper price for it, and otherwise I send it off. I've got no idea where it goes. I've got no idea about the control of what's going to happen to it and what I'm going to be paid for it. So it becomes, shearing is a big job. It's an expensive job. And where we are, there's an interesting thing about climate change here. Being organic, we, obviously we try we use no prophylactic treatments of any kind. However, in a hot year like this, on a lowland system where we are with a long wool sheep, you have to watch out for flies. So I'm trying to look for ways of not getting any fly on my sheep. So actually having an interaction and a purpose for the shearing will almost bring me to shearing twice because I can afford to. So for the welfare of the sheep and the promotion of the organic system, I think that's a quite exciting prospect. And I thank you, Stuart, for not quibbling and not trying to do it to you. I thank you and your Are they customers? Are they colleagues? Are they
well,
colleagues?
they're
in
everything.
wool? Are they colleagues
Customers,
in
they're
knitting?
viewers on YouTube. They're the ones that invest in Lavenham Blue, and they love
Well,
that traceability and that full, almost transparency too. They love it.
well, I'm really grateful to you because you are completing a circle, which has taken me quite a long time to build up, and I feel this is an enormously this is a big moment having that last chink in
Oh.
the circle.
And
Yeah.
before we finish, I know
Yeah.
your role at the farm is very much this educational background. Just tell us more about that for our viewers.
Okay, I now have my son working with me, which is lovely. So my husband and my son are running all the arable stuff,
Mm.
and we have lovely Emily, the shepherdess. And then I do the bits that nobody else wants to do. A lot of people will recognise this in their lives, I think. But we have the most wonderful old Victorian model farmyard, which we converted, and we have a lot of school visits, and we have a lot of weddings. It's very, very pretty. This beautiful glowing red brick, which would have been this old winnowing barn, is now a
Oh,
dining restaurant for pop-up, a dining room for pop-up restaurants and for
yeah.
conferences that people come and learn things. And I'm hoping, Stuart, we might perhaps do a woolly talk with you at some
Oh, it
point. I
would be
thought that would
lovely.
be
And
the
tell
culmination.
us about your baker,
And
because I
because
know I
what
want to
happens,
do
Stuart,
something with your baker too.
oh yeah, right. So there's one actually I'm going to tell you. So next week it's culminating. We're doing an event next Saturday. It's called Soil to Feast. If you
Oh,
just type that into Google, it comes up. Where I'm trying to bring together my experience of having school children visit the farm with all ages, and everyone that comes is going to go off and do an hour of soil science in a soil pit with microscopes and headphones,
oh,
and an hour with my husband John running around the rotation with a guy called Josiah Meldrum from Hodmadods, who's pioneering the consuming of British pulses as an alternative protein,
wow.
and then an hour in the kitchen with Jamie Oliver's ex-head chef called Tom Walker from the Hackney School of Food, and cooking everything, and everyone's going to eat it all together.
Oh,
So we're doing some slightly mad events. So you can look that one up for fun, Soil to Feast.
oh, it's just
And I
wonderful.
have on site, so where the sheep circle is being very much completed with you and your community,
Yeah.
I have on site Dominic Biddle from Biddle's Bread, who is a sourdough baker, and he bakes organic sourdough that for our local markets and
It's
for
wonderful.
weddings and things that we have here. And quite often he uses our flour that my son has grown and harvested and is milled in my little tiny mill, which I've had for a long time, which is next to the grain store and baked in the farm barns. So we have on two sides of the farm, we have these lovely completed circles. So if anybody
Oh,
wants to kind of join our mailing list, I only get to those about once a year, or follow us on YouTube or on Instagram.
yeah.
And what I do once a month is I post a little video on YouTube of what we're doing to show the variety of what happens on a farm when you've got all these diversifications.
You are absolutely brilliant. You have inspired me even more and got me excited about things to come, because it is wonderful. Those sheep are wonderful. Wool is wonderful. You can do so much with it, and I can't wait for our viewers, our customers, to get their hands on the 2026 collection from Shimpling Park Farm. Absolute pleasure.
I'm gonna page this out by showing you my favourite lamb, who's somehow got this mad full patch on his eye. Can you see?
Go a bit lower. Oh, I do. The little black patch. Oh, he just disappeared. We got him. We got him though.
Funny little spot on his face. Anyway.
Oh,
there you go. There you go.
It's been wonderful, Alice. Thank you very much for your time, and I can't wait to come over in a couple of weeks, or no, probably next week, to pick up more and to perhaps show you the finished colour too.
And can I ask you something? I would love if any of your viewers knit with it and feel anything. Please send me some pictures. If you go online, just my email's there, alice@chimplingparkfarm.co.uk. I would be lovely to see anything and any response people have to it. I'm very excited.
Then we'll do that. Cheers, Alice. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
How wonderful is that? And the wonders of 4G in the middle of a field that she dialed into the studio here. And in places, that picture was quite sharp. But I say, other than a little sound issue for a couple of seconds there, really remarkable, fascinating to have Alice on to introduce you all to her and Shimpling Park Farm, where the Lavenham Blue 2026 collection is from, and just thrilled with it. It just as one more look at it. Look at those blues. It's just fabulous. 4-ply weight. One thing that was interesting, and many of you spinners out there might find this interesting. Normally, 4-ply weight that we've got from Bridlington, Halifax spinning mill, always comes in around 400 meters. Interesting that this didn't. We've got, I think, a fair amount shorter, and maybe I'll try and speak to Natural Fibre Company about this. It comes in at about 320 meters to a hank, but it's here, and I'm dyeing it. Now, if you are very interested, if you're like, I'd like some of this because you want to invest in this wonderful yarn, it's a one-off year collection. Something might be different next year, as we've already alluded to with the shearlings. I'm dyeing it as we speak. So there are opportunities to get in contact and say, Stuart, if you could dye me 4 light blue, or as I think I saw at one point, I was just scrolling through the chat there whilst the interview was going. Whitney, fade. I want to get a fade of all the colours. Well, there you go. You can tell me what you would actually like. And I think, Fizz, haven't you had a fade every year? Not putting any pressure on you or anything. But she just confirmed she's having a fade this year. And I could do a fade for you because I suppose I'm giving away all my inside secrets. A fade is actually very easy to organise because I start my dyeing at the beginning of the day with a fresh, strong vat. So the first hank comes out with the dark denim. I could probably get about 4 or 5 dark denims. Then I get a good 20 odd of the classic woad blue look, the denim, I suppose you call that. And then the last sort of 5 or 6 are the aqua, which sometimes can almost go like a greeny aqua too. And over a day of dyeing, you've got a natural fade. So if you wanted 3 or 4 or 5 of a natural fade, it is so easy to put together. So you must get in contact and just send me an email to the shop, stuart@thewoolpatch.com, or DM me on Instagram and say, I'd love some of the 2026 collection. Can I have 3? Can I have a fade of 3, a blue, a dark, middle and a light? Oh, don't forget the white. We've got loads of naturals. So you can have a natural too, and you can play around with it. You could ask for 2 dark, really dark, 2 light, and I'll dye them for you. And then when I've got loads together, you can also take your pick, because sometimes I take them into the shop and people will go, I want that one, and that one. There are so many opportunities because we're dyeing now. If you know someone that might like them, spread the word. If you're watching on Catch Up, and you're like, yes, you can get in contact too through the usual channels. And then the pre-orders will be open hopefully next month once I've got all the website ready, and then you can start placing your orders. Kiwi James is in. How are you? How's the new shop going? What are we on, week 2 or week 3? James, of your new shop in Wellington City Centre. He says, I love a Kiwi connection. I dye in 8-ply New Zealand Romney for my shop. Right, tell us more about the base. What do you think it is the feel? How does it take the dye well? With regard to knitting up and blocking? Give us more information. We love all this. Mary, great to have had it spun at the Natural Fibre Company. Yes, it's as I say, something I've always wanted to do, but I've just been a little bit nervous. Oh, it's bank holiday, King's birthday. Ah, fabulous. Oh, and Whitney's come in with the pronunciation of it too. Thank you. So, Stuart, when someone asks what colour are your eyes, do you answer? I need to do that from now on because they kind of are, aren't they? Right. Let's go into some more Lavenham blue work done by Emma. Emma in the chat here, Elkie Wild Art Pencil Shop, because she sells pencils too. She's got a multitude of talents, does Emma, but one of her talents is a crocheter and a crocheter designer under the Instagram handle of Tortie Treble Maker Designs. You can look at her website, which I'm going to show you right now with the wonders of tech. This is her website here. And will it scroll if I push this button? We had those stars in our Christmas window display. Emma actually crocheted those and made those for us. Wonderful. Here we go. She's like me. She'll prance around in the garden too, won't you, Emma? Having a good photo shoot of everything that we create. And we are scrolling down. Oh, look at that lush green one, drifting petal stop. There we go. Free crochet pattern offering, which links into a paid pattern of hers. This is the Lavenham Blue Hexie and half Hexie, and I've got a live one here to show you. If I go to this, I'm definitely on a crochet thing. Crochet Mojo, my Crojo, well and truly here. Look at that. Isn't that... now that captures the Lavenham blue. And what's exciting about this is on a commercial base that I get from Chester, which is a big undyed yarn company that supplies yarn. And this is a most wonderful yarn. Emma got in contact a year ago and said, oh, I'm interested in plant-based, non-protein-based fibres. You could call it vegan if you like, just not protein. And I said, oh, I should do more really to offer that. And now I'm into my cotton phase. Yeah, it's a bit like those artists when they go through their... Who went through his blue phase? Was that Van Gogh? Fizz has gone quiet. Fizz has got a cold. Fizz is poorly. She couldn't hear what she said because she's half deaf because of the cold. So give us some love in the chat and say, so get better soon. Yeah, I think it was Van Gogh, or was it Monet? Don't know. Anyway, but this is a beautiful cotton and paper fibre, and I was intrigued with this. Very new to the fibre market, this idea of paper in it, and I thought I'll dye it up, and look how it dyed up. This is a basic swatch of it, and it takes the dye much differently. It's 9:15. Than the solid. So you can see here of the Lavenham blue, the wool fibre, it just sucked up all the dye. Whereas what was beautiful about the cotton and the paper took it differently. And look at that. If you are interested in making this hexie, then the pattern is free. It's in the chat already. You can click on it. Let's just scroll again. There it is. Isn't it? What I like about it is the definition. The definition you get. And I think that is from the paper. Look. But of course, you're getting all these different blues where the dye more woad has attached to and where it hasn't. You've got these little white spots from the paper. Now, Emma didn't just stop there. she turned this hexie into a full design, and it is quite stunning. Let's go to this shot. Look at that. Doesn't it go well with my blue lights and my blue background? Oh, sat on my wire. Look at that. Look at that. So this is the tabard, the Lavenham blue hexie tabard. And what a clever design to have this nice little panel of the hexies, but to then have this kind of negative space. So then your eye is just drawn to that design there, but then this beautiful sea of blue. Now, it's just so tonal, isn't it? In fact, I can kind of see, can you see that? It's sort of dark here, merging over, and then those hexies there. And of course, it goes up and over onto the back and down. It's that whole line. Isn't it amazing? So if that's something you're interested, that's a paid pattern. You can support Emma by clicking the links, buying it, adding it, and knocking it up and making it into a garment. If you want the yarn, in an ideal world, as a business person, I would have it all dyed ready for you to go add to cart. but I'm not necessarily that good. But if you do love the yarn, you can send me an email and go, Stuart, yes, I want that yarn, that paper cotton mix. Can you dye me 3 hanks in dark blue? Can you dye me a fade over 4 hanks? Or just come into the shop, because I'll be dyeing over the next, well, in this weather, I'll be dyeing over the next couple of weeks. It'll be lovely, won't it? Isn't it wonderful? And Emma got so into it that for those that, you know, like to have a cropped version, Tom Daly style, she's done a short one. Let's go to this one here. Look. So that's the neck. There's the hexies, but it's cropped. Look. Don't think I'll be wearing that. That would be a bit too cropped for me. That'll just cover my pecs. Everything else will be on show. But look at, you can tell that Emma is great with her artwork as well, because she does all the colour crayons, which we talked about before. You know, for drawing, I'm a sucker for Caran d'Ache. But look at these strips. I've got to do it back to front. These pale blue, aren't they just perfectly placed? You've got this middle one, but then these sort of on the husk sort of thing, you know, where it's not just stripes, equal stripes. There's a certain word. What's that word? I want to say isometric, but that just But isn't that great? It just all feels equal. That, in fact, that gap is almost probably the same size as that. It just works, doesn't it? If I stand back a bit. Look at that. No, I won't wear that one, Fizz. That's a bit soon. But isn't it wonderful? There. It's just beautiful. So if that's your thing, go and support Emma. Or if you like the yarn, there'll be more of that coming to the shop. Or you can say order it. It's a cotton paper mix. It's just wonderful. Thank you very much for that. Oh, and speaking of Lavenham blue too, Jimbo in the chat here has done us some more bags. These flew out when I showed them just randomly last time, people in the chat started going, I'll have one, I'll have one. So if you're in the live chat and you fancy one, you can have one. They're £30. Look, he's made some more. This one's got a white handle that you can pull. And then he's done some with a navy handle. Look. So this is Lavenham blue linen that me and him dyed old school, like we were back at school in the 80s, doing tie-dye. And obviously these bits here is where the woad couldn't attach to when it was in the vat, and is protected as a resist by the string, and it's got a navy one. Aren't they fab? So we've got 3 of those to put in the shop. Fabulous. Thanks, James, for that. That's going to look marvellous on the Lavenham blue shelf. If you're interested, £30, drop it in the chat and say, I want a bag. But his making, see, this is where you are all. That's what I love about YouTube. Celebrating the talent and showing off the talent. Let's go to the camera here. There we go. Oh, well, even though, there we go. But yeah, look at his sewing. Oh, thanks, Sue. Well, oh yeah, because it was because it went in my bag. I scrunched them up to get them in the bag. Dobbing me in. Oh, I love it. And before we go on to the World Cup, let's just finish the knit chat with the Echo. Finish the Echo. It needs blocking. I'll do that next week, and then we'll have a trip out somewhere in the garden again for a photo shoot. It's got a few modifications. No sleeves. An I-cord edge sleeve. Didn't want any ribbing on there either, too much. So I just did an I-cord edge. Just got to block that. That will just stop it rolling a bit. There you go. See, it's not rolling anymore. And I did a rib, single old school rib. I'll talk more about it next month when we have it as a show starter. I did try the pattern comes as a double edge fold, and it looked way too big for a very light cotton summer knit, and the double fold collar almost, well, it did overpower the fine delicate cable work. So I ripped that out and said, no, I'm just going to have an old school 1x1 rib. But I love it. And this was done in the Lang cotton, just simple cotton. And I love it. Really pleased, because this was a year in the making too. Bit slow, aren't I? Yes, so that's finished one. So I'm hoping now to start a crochet one. Fizz did show me a pattern as we were chatting 2 weeks ago on the live, which I think I might do. What's it called, Fizz? The slide tank top. Fizz will pop the link in the chat. Looks great. And yeah, I know I've been on the news. Should we go into the World Cup and we'll talk about it? Let's do that now. I'll finish off. We've got 10 minutes talking about the World Cup window, and then we'll finish off the show. Here we go. There we... Oh, pressed 3 buttons at once. We're ready for the World Cup. It starts in a week and a half's time on June the 11th. Can you believe we're in June? Where did that go to? But we're ready. We were putting up the bunting, red, white and blue bunting yesterday. The window is stripped, empty, and teddies will start appearing as the countdown starts over the week. And then on June the 6th, Saturday next week, I've got Jimbo's in and Curly Sue's in with an extra knit and natter group, because we're going to all be creative and get in the window and make it come alive. The AstroTurf has been delivered. The teddies have had their kits put on and they've been tested for which one fits. The teddies have been coming in from people who lived in the village. Knit and Natterers have bring teddies. It's wonderful. We've got over 40 jerseys. Whitney here in the chat, she sent us one. We've got the Netherlands from Whitney. Oh, you'll love seeing Whitney's. And thank you, Whitney, for your lovely letter as well, explaining why you chose the Netherlands, about her time there. And then she's even cleverly embroidered the Netherlands flag on the top. It's just great. But here's a few sneak peeks, because BBC News, local BBC News, got wind of it and said, oh, you're doing another window display like your chickens. They were so eager to get the info on our window display, everyone, that they wanted to publish it before we've even made the display. I know. So we had to quickly dress a few more teddies and style it up for the news report. Fizz will drop the link in, and that went live on Saturday. BBC News interviewed me, and they've done a really nice article, because we do need some fun news in the world of news, don't we? With everything that's going on, and it was lovely. So there's a few photos there. I think Specs in the German top might be my favourite. We've now called him. But look at that one with Mary. So Mary from Norfolk, are you still in the chat, Mary? Give us a shout if you're still watching. She had finished her one. She had done an England-inspired one. And with the way things went and meeting another friend, meeting halfway, it turned out that Lavenham was their meeting point. So she popped into the shop, and it was just lovely and I love that photo, because there's me trying to be all serious and she's just cracking up because we were having a laugh. She spent an hour with us on Friday, and sat with our knit and natterers too. And just out of shot is her greyhound Billy, who was so well behaved considering we were chatting away. And only once or twice did he just whelp her a bit, as if to say, come on mum, we got to go walking. But that picture is just lovely. Just lovely of you, Mary, to take the time to come and visit and drop off England top. Now that's on Ted, and Ted is over 50 years old and donated by Friday Knit and Natter Sue to go in the window. So there are some lovely stories about the teddies, and the tops are all on, and they're going to go in the window on Saturday. Now, top right picture there, James, our woodworker, he is making a grandstand, like a seating grandstand for our teddies to sit on. I mean, it's going to be epic. Because when we were doing the chickens, poor old Jimbo was in the window covering lots of different boxes to get different levels for all our chickens. And it was before we knew James, the handy woodwork man, design tech teacher. And with the wonders of YouTube and who watches and customers, Lou, who is often watching, said, my husband's a woodwork teacher. He's great with creativity and design tech wood. He can make you something. So from there on, we've always had him making kind of like the base structure of our displays. Well, there he was. He came in Saturday to measure up, and we're having like 3-tiered seating. It's going to look amazing. And with our AstroTurf in front, we're going to have a couple of competitions like Guess the Ball. We've got big yarn prizes, so we can raise a bit of money. And you never know. I'm hoping, I don't know whether it'll work. I'm hoping we'll be able to sell the tops to raise money for our local charity. Everyone that walked past our chicken Olympian display 2 years ago all kept saying, oh, are they for sale? Are they for sale? And we then thought, well, they can be. And we raised £700 for the Nest in Suffolk, a charity that is based on a farm where students from school or young adults, doesn't matter, will go to get away from screens, all about mental health, supporting their mental health. It's a fabulous charity. And that with their 700 quid, they bought a donkey with it. Isn't that wonderful? I'm hoping that perhaps the kids will walk past and see the football tops and go, oh, can I have that for my teddy? I'm hoping. I'm not too sure, so I'm not holding my breath too much for that, but wouldn't it be nice? We'll see. So if we can raise a bit of money for charity, then that will be great. But it's going to look epic. The teddies will be in there for a month, and we'll have some featuring at the front. And when it gets to England group matches, we've got the kits all ready for who they're playing, and we'll see how far England gets, or even Scotland. We've got England and Scotland kitted up. We all want to be behind both of them. And we'll perhaps feature them on our rotating turntables so everyone can see the back too, and who's the star player. And as always, I'm going to film them all and show you them all on YouTube. So if you can't come to the shop to see them, don't worry, watch us on YouTube on our monthly show. I reckon that will be, it's our June show. If I look at the calendar, what one is that, Fizz? June the 10th. Yes, thank you, Viz. That will be our World Cup show. And then we've got a Pride show in July. We've just shifted our Pride show from June to July because I would have thought showing all 40-odd teddies and linesmen and the referee and the crowds people that we've got, it's going to blow you away. It's going to be great. Thank you if you've got involved with that and you've made something. I know we've had them from all around the UK as well as the world. Whitney, thank you for taking the time. Jane, who's watching on Catch Up from the Adirondacks. Is that how you say it? I should learn it by now. From New York, County is sending them in. Margarita from Germany and the daughter too. It's just been wonderful. Let's have a see what you're saying about it all. Oh, you sure can have a bag. Yes. Would you like a navy handle or a white handle? I'll put it aside for you. Come over to the shop. Are there any countries still left to do? I'd like to make one and join in. You sure can. There's a crochet one. Because they're going to be in all month actually for June. It doesn't matter if you don't make it in for next week. It can be like a substitution. It can come in a couple of weeks' time. If you're by now a quick crochet you are. You want the crochet pattern? Fizz will put the link in for the crochet pattern. Are there any more still to do? I don't think there are. I think we've got all of England's group ones covered. We think we've got the favourites covered. So just do whichever one you like, whichever one inspires you the most. I think some of the lesser known countries might not be done. Maybe choose whichever flag you like the look of. Oh, bless you. I know. And he was cheering away, wouldn't he? He's like, yay. It's great how you managed to get so many people involved. Well, it's all down to you lot, I think. And that you liked it. Maybe it's because they're small projects. I know I've done quite a few knit-alongs in the past and it kind of fizzles out because they're too big. But also, I'd like to think that people stay in and repeat or get involved because of YouTube, because you're going to be seen from it. And now it's not always about that, but when you're putting effort in and it's going to be appreciated by a whole audience, but then also shown off, I think there's something more to that. Maybe, Lois, what do you think? you just know it's going to be really appreciated too, which they all are. Whitney says, we live in the Netherlands during World Cup 2014. I'm Maastricht. I can say that one. Wonderful. Yes, really, really pleased. Really, really pleased. So watch this space. We're going to have great fun next Saturday doing it all. I think I don't know what the weather's going to be like. Is it going to be raining? Wimbledon next year. Yeah. Wherever we may be, don't forget as well. We are still looking. That deadline is looming no matter what it is. So we shall see what will happen there. But we're still with you for June, July and August. And we'll keep you up to date with that. Shall we spin the wheel, Fizz, and give someone a prize? Yeah, let's finish the show, as we always do, with a prize time to our channel members. Our channel members are those on YouTube that click that join button. They've already clicked subscribe, but they've then clicked join, and they pay a $4.99 a month or an $6.99 or an $8.99 a month. And it's just a monthly subscription. It's kind of popping into the shop once a month to buy a ball of wool, isn't it? But those subscriptions really do help. And boy, do they help at the moment. And I've always said this, yarn shops struggle in the summer. We really rely on the tourists coming in and buying something, but many people stop knitting and crocheting. Many of my older retired audience just go out into the garden. They're out walking. They're doing stuff. They're not making as much. So you can imagine general custom sales do drop down. And last week, because it was half-term week, I had my knit and natterers, which are so important to the shop in so many ways, but very few customers. So it does make things a bit tight. So the YouTube subscriptions all help because it all goes into the shop to pay the bills. And we like to thank those channel members by giving them a prize. And you've got a nice surprise of yarn on your way to you. This week, I have been given some dead stock of Rowan. A friend who watches the show, Natasha, who is a big fan of watching the show and is often on. She's a sewer. She gets involved in the sewing bee chats with Ting. A big knitter friend of hers passed away of cancer. And they were sorting through all her yarn stock. And there was an awful lot of Rowan, bagged up Rowan, from Rowan. And some of it is old because of it's discontinued. So it's dead stock from that point of view, but it's still in the bags that you buy it from Rowan in their bags of 10. So we've got some bags of 10 to give away. Some of those bags are also going to go into the prize competitions. You can do an awful lot with 10 balls of wool. And so to get that wool, I donated to her memory £100 to cancer research, and we've got that wool. So memory to her, Natasha, thank you for letting me know about that, because she was a big knitter and helped many people with their knitting. So that was something little that we could do to donate that money, and in return we've got the yarn, and we can then give that yarn to others who can enjoy, which I think is really nice. So let's give a UK member a treat of some yarn, an American, and if American or a rest of the world member comes up, we'll do an online pattern. So let's spin the wheel. Yeah, I know, Scully said we need rain, don't we? Jill, Bertie and Poppet, you've got a bag of 10 balls of Rowan dead stock, whatever one it is. I think we've got some cotton in there. We've got some, I think there's some silk in there too. So let's do another one, just in case we have a rest of the world winner. So Fizz, you've got that down. So that was Jill, and then remove. Oh no, we'll just spin again. Who's going to come up this time? Viewers, so I know, and that's Dr. Paul. Well, he doesn't knit. So we'll give that to Mary. Mary, Dr. Paul and Mary. Let's do one more spin. So well done, Mary. Not that Mary, another Mary. Let's do another one. Let's treat you all. Oh, Bev! You got it that time. That was so close and you got it the third time. How cool is that to see that happen? Oh, there you go. That's a nice little treat, isn't it? Oh, well, there we go. I'm hot as anything. I think I'm going to go and run under the hose as I water the garden. Yeah, I know. We need that. We absolutely need the rain. Is it forecast this week? I hope so. Lois, it makes you feel like you're part, and that is why we do it. And that's why I've always loved YouTube, because it's about who's watching. It's about who is there in the chat at whatever time, if it's live. It's also about who is watching on catch up, because I know there are people. There are a couple of people out there who have emailed me privately. I see you and I hear you. And I thank you for constantly watching. And they are happy with watching and never being mentioned or never commenting. They just love watching. And I love having your company. And I absolutely can't wait to film the teddies on their little circular thing going round like we did the bottles. I get so much out of it too. That creativity that I perhaps lost when I used to be a teacher and doing all the drama shows and the concerts and things where you'd get that creativity there with the kids. Love it. So you give me loads back from watching. Love coming to you every month. So we've got our live from the shop in a couple of weeks' time. That is June the 10th. Yeah. And then we've got the end of the month for the World Cup Spectacular. We'll be mid-World Cup there, so it'll be interesting to see where England are. That's June the 28th. And then we've got the Pride Show in July. It's been wonderful. I hope you enjoyed the Lavenham Blue reveal. Let me know what you think of the New Zealand Romney and the 4-ply. Start looking at your patterns, what to go for. Look at Emma's patterns if you're a crochet designer. If you like that vegan yarn, get into contact too. Where's my closing credits? There it is. We're going to see the channel members as we go out. It's a hot one. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you.